And then I had to see the writing that was on the wall. This was my exit. I should have been exited.
Right.
But because of fear, because of, the financial obligations, because of the lifestyle that I had grew accustomed to, I kept my feet planted. But God kept nudging. And when he said it was time to go, honestly, I had no choice. And so I saw my out right after I was, out on disability for a while. I said, you know what? This would be a good place to get off. This stop right here will suit me just fine. And the day that I went back was the very same day that I gave my notice. And it was because I was choosing my wellness. That was my physical wellness. That was my mental wellness. That was my spiritual wellness. Because you can't be out here in these streets being disobedient to God, because that's not a healthy situation at all.
How are you?
Hey there. I'm good. I'm good. I was like, listen, come back, Dr. Rhonda, because I can't do this whether you're sitting there or not.
Oh, you can do the show. I probably could have just stayed out and then you could have handled the whole thing by yourself.
But I welcome the conversation with you. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a guest here in the Author's Lounge. I love that.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate you accepting the invite. I just like the last guest, I met you at the Harlem Book Festival as well.
That's right. That's right. That was a great experience. I really had a good time just meeting and connecting with, all of the beautiful authors that were out there. We were just out there grinding, trying to make some impact in the community.
and fighting that monsoon that hit us at the end.
Yes, yes. But we survived. As New Yorkers, look, that weather don't faze us. It doesn't faze us at all.
No, not at all. I mean, because we still did good.
Yes. It was beautiful.
Yeah. So, first of all, love the pink.
Thank you. I started to wear my blue. But I had on a pink earlier today. I said, girl, you're not changing. It's too late in the day to be changing clothes. So I was like, just keep the pink on.
I'm not mad at you at all. I'm not mad. But you know what, though? Sometimes it's cool to just wear different colors because they just look good in every color.
Come on, don't we? Don't we?
So tell me about your book, ma'am.
Well, I've got quite a bit of books under my belt. I've been writing since 2015, but my latest project is entitled The Power of Choice. And that's the book that's really sitting in my arms. And that's the one that I've really been cradling and cultivating over this past year. So it's about a year old, but it's still my heart because it's such a profound message. And the power of choice, where it stems from, is when I left my 6-figure job. So I walked away from my 6-figure corporate job because of my well-being. And I had to make that declaration for myself because work, you know how work can be, the stresses of life and everything in between. Yes. And I had to decide. I had gone out on a medical leave and the doctor was telling me that I was clear to go back, but something in my heart and my spirit was saying, I am not ready to go back. And when I was finally cleared and they said, we can't keep you out any longer because you are physically healed, I was like, I've been a registered nurse for 20 plus years. Healing on the surface is not the only healing that has to take place. There is an internal healing that has to take its place first, in all honesty, before the outside heals. But sometimes the outside heals first. And that was the indicator that they were using to say, you know what, you're cleared to go back to work. You've been out X amount of time, and now it's time to go back. So I was faced with this kind of dilemma, go back and serve from an unhealed place or make the decision to walk away.
And that's I'll tell you, it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing, but at the same time, it's a very brave thing, because if you had a 6-figure corporate job, I have a 6-figure job as well. And if I were to say, okay, I'm going to walk away, it's going to be a scary thing, because you're automatically going to start thinking, well, how am I going to get the bills paid? How am I going to keep my home? How am I going to keep our standard of living? I can't do this. Oh, I need to go back. But you stepped out on faith. Yes. What was it that gave you that that confirmation that you were doing the right thing?
You know what's funny, Dr. Rhonda, when I started that position, I was so excited, like, because I had met my top salary. I was like, George Weezy, where you at? We had, like, I have arrived, like, come on, like, I'm here.
You got your piece of the pie.
Yeah, you know, like, I moved on up and I'm ready. I am ready. And I was so ecstatic about that position. Yes. And I remember when I first got there, I was in awe of everything, the decor, the location, like everything was just so perfect to me. They gave you free coffee and tea. I was like, oh, I never worked for a place that gave you free tea, free coffee. I'm like, this is, in my Tiffany Haddish voice, I was like, this is nice. And I was unpacking, like I was getting the cement, I was getting the glue, and your girl was there to stay. And I remember the very first day I got there, I clearly heard God say, this is your last job. And I was like, oh, okay, so hey, we might as well put the cement, we might as well unpack all of the baggage.
Yeah, you thought that meant that you were going to be with that job to the wheels fell off.
Exactly, until retirement, until the ripe old age, that was going to be where I was going to retire. It was either going to be where I was going to retire or where I was going, right? So when you're so stressed out and you're working and you're slaving around for these jobs, sometimes it's not retirement. It's literally when you just shut down, when you just give out. But of course, my mind is not thinking cryptic, but I am like, okay, this is where I'm going to stay. Yeah. So yeah, it was very, very scary when I started hearing God said, okay, green light, like it's time to go. And I was like, but wait, like I'm not dead. Let me do my pulse check. Like I'm not dead. I'm not a retirement age. Like what? And I just kept feeling it in my spirit and kept feeling it in my spirit. And I wasn't moving. I wasn't moving because again, I'm content. This is the best salary ever. And this is where I'm going to stay. And finally, God had to disrupt the comfortable. Where I got comfortable, he started to disrupt it. And so now I'm moaning and I'm groaning and I'm feeling the pains and the woes. And then I had to see the writing that was on the wall. This was my exit. I should have been exited.
Right.
But because of fear, because of, you know, the financial obligations, because of the lifestyle that I had grew accustomed to, I kept my feet planted. But God kept nudging. And when he said it was time to go, honestly, I had no choice. And so I saw my out right after I was, you know, out on disability for a while. I said, you know what? This would be a good place to get off. This stop right here will suit me just fine. And the day that I went back was the very same day that I gave my notice. And it was because I was choosing my wellness. That was my physical wellness. That was my mental wellness. That was my spiritual wellness. Because you can't be out here in these streets being no disobedient to God, because that's not a healthy situation at all. Absolutely. And I learned that there was power that generated from me declaring that Sheniqua was worth it. There was this amount of power that exuded. Hence how we came up with the title, The Power of Choice.
Do you have your book before we hang up? Because I know we're running over time now. There we go. The Power of Choice.
The Power of Choice, prioritizing well-being in a high stress world. That's what I did. So this book will unlock, it'll talk about, your mindset, because there's a mindset that comes with saying yes. It's not just about I'm telling people no. Yeah, you do have the right to tell people yes or no, but you want your no to be no. You want your yes to be yes. And you want to stand with, in conviction with that. You want to be solid to it. So this book is going to give you stress management techniques. It's going to give you mindfulness techniques. So it's a really good book. You might want to add it to your library. You might want to get a few copies to put them in stocking stuffers, give it to them coworkers that's stressing you out. This is just a subtle hint, a subtle hint. But yes, this book is available on Amazon, and it's also available on my website, sheniquainspires.com.
All right. Well, thank you once again for being on the show. May God bless you and all that you do and all that you touch. I really enjoyed talking with you tonight.
Thank you. Blessings to you, Sora.